Scroll Toyota, leading the way every day. Atkins Scroll Toyota, symbols of trust.
The Guam National Guard Barrigada Readiness Center was filled with family and friends early Saturday morning as they said goodbye to their loved ones that are part of the deploying 1st Battalion, 294th Infantry Regiment. Close to 600 soldiers loaded up on tour buses at the Readiness Center and were shuttled to Andersen Air Force Base. A final goodbye wave could be seen outside the Air Force Base as people honked horns and waved their U.S. and Guam flags. Several of them could be seen crying and hugging others as the buses passed. Major Chris Camacho was activated as the rear detachment officer in charge while the soldiers are away. His primary emphasis is to support the families of the guardsmen that are deployed. He says the battalion is now in Camp Shelby, Mississippi for mobilization training before they reach Afghanistan.
Those soldiers will go through a series of training, about 30 to 45 days worth of training where they'll get additional training in collective tasks.
Prior to their departure, commander of the 1st Battalion, 294th Infantry Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Mike Tuffer, also talked about their mid-April arrival in Afghanistan.
We'll spend 9 months in Afghanistan. We should be coming out and back to Camp Shelby sometime around January of 2014.
This may be the largest deployment in the history of the Guam Guard, but Major Camacho says they still have a fair amount of soldiers that were left behind for various reasons, which include ineligibility to deploy or recent basic training graduates.
I've got about 226 soldiers that I'm responsible for, and my job is to ensure that we maintain a level of readiness with the Army and Army standards, and to essentially sustain the training that's required for those soldiers that are left behind.
As part of the Guard's rear detachment chain of command, Camacho mentions they have to maintain certain levels of readiness and act as a liaison to direct families to third-party services that can help them. For example, he recommends for families to reflect the current status of their deployed guardsmen by updating their identification cards. The rear detachment also relies heavily on their family readiness group to help spouses of service members that have deployed for the first time.
The family readiness group is one network of support where we try to partner and match up more experienced spouses with less experienced spouses.
And if you notice a yellow ribbon tied around the tree or power pole, Camacho adds this is also tied to the Guam Guard's deployment. He explains it represents to the community that a loved one has been sent into harm's way.
The tradition is that whenever a family member has a soldier that's been sent overseas and into harm's way, that they would tie a yellow ribbon around a tree or anything that's in the public light, just to remind the community that we do have folks from our community that are out there, and we want to keep them safe and keep them in their prayer.
Josh Tikenko, PNC News.